Thom Hartmann here on the news. You need to know this. The Republicans' budget, brought to us by multimillionaire Republican Congressman Paul Ryan, is nothing more than, quote, a Trojan horse to impose a radical vision on our country, end quote. Those are the words of President Obama, who spoke today at the White House, slamming the Republican budget that passed the House of Representatives last week. And the president didn't just stop there. He went on to blast the whole idea of, his phrase, trickle-down economics that's infected our nation since Reagan and is at the core of the Paul Ryan budget. The president said that instead of depending upon, quote, the success of the wealthy few, end quote, our nation needs a strong middle class like in previous generations who went to college on the GI Bill and could safely rely on New Deal programs. Say what you want about President Obama, but he is the first president in over 30 years to directly call out Reagan's supply-side economics and to point out that it's killing the American middle class. With the Occupy movement mobilized and more Americans realizing Reaganomics was a con job that made the rich richer and kicked off a war against working people, the president now has enough wind behind his back to speak the truth about conservative economics. So let's keep telling the truth about American oligarchs' war against the middle class and their theft of our nation's wealth, so President Obama can keep his campaign promise of 4 years ago to fundamentally change the direction we've been going since the Reagan Revolution. Not only are the long-term unemployed screwed out of the American dream, they're also dying younger. New York Times is reporting the new study showed that long-term unemployed people, those out of work more than 6 months, are twice as likely to die within a year of unemployment as are those who are employed. Even 20 years after getting back to work, those Americans who experience long-term unemployment in their younger years still have a 15% greater chance of dying early. According to the study, a worker who lost their job at age 40 and had to deal with long-term unemployment will likely lose a year to a year and a half of off of their life from having missed preventative health care and chronic stress. Currently, 40% of Americans unemployed have been out of work for more than 6 months, and they'll be dying younger because the social safety net that used to catch them has been cut away after 30 years of Reaganomics, Clintonomics, and Ayn Rand's trickle-down morality. In the best of the rest of the news, it appears as though America has forgotten how to put its young people through college. Not only does the United States rank behind 12 other developed nations when it comes to college graduation rates, we're the only one of the developed nations in the world where this generation isn't doing better than previous generations. So much for that thing called progress. The stunted graduation rates likely have something to do with college tuitions growing by 600% since 1985, leading to student loan debt topping $1 trillion for the first time in the history of the world. Republicans are trying to make the problem worse with a budget proposal that dumps more than 1 million American students off their Pell Grants. The Republicans have not explained how they think the United States can be competitive in the global economy without a well-educated workforce. The Supreme Court thinks you need to be strip searched. In a 5-4 ruling on Monday, the High Court said jails have a right to give any new detainees an invasive strip search, no matter how minor the criminal offense was. That means even people who committed minor crimes like forgetting to pay a parking ticket or jaywalking during an Occupy rally will be stripped naked and viewed and poked by cops. In his dissent on the case, Justice Breyer wrote, "Such searches are inherently harmful, humiliating, and degrading." And he said that there's no reason why they should be used for jaywalking, speeding, or protesting. So once again, while the High Court is busy giving corporate so-called people more and more rights to buy our elections and screw over their customers, it's eroding the rights of actual human beings. The federal war on marijuana continues. On Monday, agents from the DEA and IRS raided Oaksterdam University, a school in California that teaches students how to grow marijuana and offers classes on the legal issues around marijuana cultivation. Despite operating well within the legal boundaries of California state law, which allows for the growing of marijuana for medical purposes, the school is vulnerable to a federal raid because any sort of marijuana cultivation or use is still a violation of federal law. When President Obama first came into office, he announced that his administration would no longer infringe on state laws that had legalized medical marijuana. Unfortunately, this raid against Oaksterdam University is just the latest federal crackdown on legal marijuana dispensaries in California and other states by federal agents. The president needs to ditch Richard Nixon's failed drug war and adopt some common sense drug laws that don't turn sick people into criminals for taking their medication. And finally, we now have some insight as to what the heck was wrong with Texas Governor Rick Perry on the presidential campaign trail. From debate flops to mental blanks to completely bizarre campaign appearances, many speculated that Governor Goodhair was either drinking or on drugs. Turns out, it was probably the drugs. A new ebook by Politico released today claims that Governor Perry was on serious painkillers while on the campaign trail, and that might explain his strange live free or die rant in New Hampshire, or his famous oops moment during the Michigan debate, or a second debate, or a third debate, I don't remember. Anyhow, maybe instead of narcotics, Perry should have tried pot instead. Then he'd at least agree more often with Ron Paul. And that's the way it is today, Tuesday, April 3rd, 2012. I'm Thom Hartmann on the news.